There we go. All right, so forgive my blank stare of panic there for a moment, but I think we're ready to go. All right, there we go. There we go.
Awesome.
All right, well, welcome. My name is Paul Sanft, here at Pacer Simon Technology Center.
I'm Molly Longton. Sorry. All right. Now, so today we're going to go through some different tools, and that's all going to be on our handout. You can access the handout using this QR code, but we'll also have a link for the handout in the chat, and we're going to put that in kind of sporadically throughout the webinar so that if you missed it right here at the beginning, you'll be able to access it a little bit later. It's also in the reminder email that you received for this workshop. Yeah, there we go. So with the Zoom webinar, we're going to share the link to the handouts in the chat, and at the end we'll share the link to the workshop evaluation. But if you are having technical difficulties or questions or a few comments, make sure that your chat is posted to everyone so that we can see those questions and those technical difficulties. Because if you have a question, someone else might have that same question. So just ask it in the chat.
Yeah, and we like to hear from everybody too because we only have so much time to go through this stuff, so we can't cover everything. So share your expertise as well. It always helps us learn.
Love comments. At the end of this webinar, you'll get a certificate of attendance if you're attending live. We obviously can't do that if you are watching on YouTube afterwards. To get the certificate, you do need to submit the evaluation at the end, and then there's a spot for you to click on it to get the evaluation or to get the certificate at the end of the evaluation, if that makes sense. So that'll be after we're done.
All right, so real quick, I don't want to spend too much time on us here at Pacer Center, but if you're not familiar with us, check out our website, pacer.org. It's also a newly designed website, so definitely check it out. We have a lot of different programs that we offer. Our core programs are parent advocacy, bullying prevention, and us in assistive technology are in our Simon Technology Center. And kind of the core services that we offer, in addition to doing webinars like this, we can just answer questions about assistive technology. We have a lending library, which you can see a picture here, with around 1,500 items of things that are available to be checked out. That's also free to Minnesota residents. We also do individualized consultations to help you identify potential assistive technology tools to help you on whatever your goals are, and we can even help train you on those specific devices too. So today, as we're looking through a lot of these tools, a lot of them are available in our library. In the handout, Molly noted everything that we do currently have in the lending library, but also some things are apps, and you can find them for free or trials or things like that. So I could talk more about that, but let's get going on the good stuff. We've broken today into a couple different areas. Molly's going to talk a little bit about executive function, an overview of what that means. But then the tools, we've split them into 4 different categories: attention and focus, time management, memory, and organization. Now, a lot of these tools, they overlap these categories. So we had to find, what's the most prominent feature in that tool that we're going to show. But a lot of the things like attention and focus can be used for organization and memory, organization, time management, a lot of overlap there. But we had to break it down in some way. And so that's how we went about it. And so
Yeah, let's talk about executive function and what that looks like. So, executive function is kind of a broad category, but generally it refers to a set of skills that outline the capacity to do a couple of different things: plan ahead and meet goals, display self-control, follow multiple step directions, and stay focused despite distractions. So, it's very similar to an air traffic control system at the airport, which helps multiple planes take off and land on different runways. So you're kind of doing multiple things at different times, and it's kind of the ability to kind of manage those different tasks, whether that's doing stuff at school, doing stuff at work, being able to have those skills kind of refers to executive function, but it is a broad category in general. So let's talk a little bit about the tools that we have.
And before we dive into there, I wanted to mention that we're not experts on, various disabilities and how these tools might most benefit you. We are kind of our expertise is in the tools and how they work and comparing them. We have a lot of tools that we love here, but we don't explicitly endorse it, any of them specifically. So we just wanted to mention that before we dive
Yeah.
in.
And we're always learning. I feel like there's always new tools coming out. I feel like what works today might be there might be a new app that comes out that's better than what we're showing you. So it's always changing.
Yeah.
But
All right. First one.
attention and focus. So let's look at my favorite new thing to show lately, which have been the loop earplugs. So these are in our lending library. And there are a lot of different loop earplugs that exist with the company. These are the Loops Quiet. So when we open the box, they come in this little box and they come in this little carrying case. So the loops are basically like if you took your traditional over-the-ear headphones that you would wear for like mowing or just the sensory deprivation, and they put them into a little bit of a smaller, more discreet mode of earplug. So these basically they don't have any electronics in them. They're just silicone. So the quiet, these are the loops quiet, and they have 27 decibels of noise cancellation. So not every pair of loops is going to noise cancel like all of the sounds. You're not going to get that true like fully immersive sensory and noise deprivation. You're going to get a little bit of like a mix. So with the quiet, you're gonna get more than their other versions, like their Engage and their Experience, which are their popular ones. But the so it's generally going to noise cancel like those bigger sounds. Like if you're in a room with an HVAC system, putting these in is going to kind of filter out that noise. Now with some of their other version or the other types, the Experience and the Engage, they filter things like conversation or like if you're in a restaurant and you have you're talking to someone, you might be able to hear the person across from you, but not necessarily like everyone around you. They also just came out with the Loop Switch, which basically has three different versions and like a little switch. So it's a little bit bulkier than this. It's about like a little bit bigger on the side. And then they have a little toggle switch that you can switch between three versions, and that gives you three different types of noise cancellation. Yeah. And yes.
Before you put them away, can you show how you put them in?
Yes. So, I have hearing aids in, but let's try. So basically, I actually have not put them in because I don't need them. I have hearing aids, so I have that built in. So when I put them in, you kind of put them in like this, and then you try to make it so that, sorry. So I don't know if you can see. I did not put them in super well. They have a video on their website on how to correctly place them, but they sit just like here. No, so they don't have any magnets or any types of like different they're really just silicone. They're using silicone and plastic for their noise canceling. So like I saw or like I said, or showed, sorry. You can't really see them, which is why they are a really big alternative right now because they're very discreet. So from the front, if I put my hair in front of my face, you can't see that I'm wearing them, and I can still get that noise canceling that the bigger ones would provide without showing everyone that I have noise canceling headphones on. Yes, so this would filter out something like fan noise, especially their loops, the quiet. These, when I put them in, it does feel like I can't hear anything, but also I have hearing loss, so that makes sense. But from my experience, people that use them have, like, yes, they would filter out something like a fan noise or an HVAC, stuff like that. So they're really, I think you can keep them in as long as you're comfortable. I don't think they have like a specific hour limit or it's kind of just as long as you're comfortable, especially because they don't require any charging or they don't have any electronic component to them. You can keep them in as long or as little as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes, and you can purchase them on a lot of different places. Elizabeth will pop them in there. They're on the website, they're on Amazon. Yeah, and they have different tips too. So they have different sizes. They've got different, like, they've got the large tips, they've got the small tips. These ones don't like to stay in the little thing, so they're in the box. But yeah, they have different, and they have kids versions. So if your kiddo has a smaller head, or if they're a kid, you can have them, and they're formulated specifically for kids. So they're smaller and they have a little bit less noise canceling. I think the kids ones have, I think it's 16 and 20 decibels, but I'm also not completely sure. So because they have a lot of different versions of their earplugs. So yeah, those are kind of
Okay.
that. Awesome.
All right, let's move on to the next area of attention and focus. We're going to talk about time trackers. In particular, I have a couple different models here. I'm going to swap with mine.
Yeah.
This one here, I've actually already started. It has turned green. I'll explain that here in just a moment. So what we have here at the time tracker, this is, well, it's a timer, and it based on that time limit, the lights on this change color. So how I have it set up right now is it's a 1 minute timer, or sorry, right now I have it set up for 1 hour. You can go basically as high as 99 hours. It's pretty wild. But you can set the time that the light is green, and then for how long the light is yellow, and then how long the light is red. So right now I have it set up to be 45 minutes of this webinar, it's green, and then 15 minutes left, it turns yellow, and then for the last 5 minutes, it turns red. And this is a great way to have that visual cue to help with transitioning from different activities. And this gives you a lot of a lot of control and precise timer setups, but you can also do an automatic timer where you just set the total amount of time, so 30 minutes or whatever, and then it automatically sets green to 80%, and then yellow to 15%, and then that last bit to 5%. If you don't want to have to do the math. But this is a time tracker. You can see how big it is. It can sit on the desk. There is a sound with it too, but you can turn the sound down or turn it up, depending on if you want that alarm or that beep notifying you of the transition. The other version that I really like is the Time Tracker Mini, which, as you can see, is much smaller. If I turn it on, I can set the total time here. So we can say 20 minutes is the total timer. And then down here in the yellow, we'll say after 10 minutes, it's going to turn yellow. And so if I hit start, now it is green, and it's much more subtle. I can sit on the desk, it's small and out of the way, but it gives you that visual cue, so you don't have to do any calculations on with a clock or anything, or figure out how many minutes. You can just see, okay, I'm green, I got plenty of time, and then once it turns yellow, you know to start thinking about moving on to the next activity. So these are really nice. The Time Tracker and Time Tracker Mini, I think they have a couple other different versions, but these are two that we have in our lending library, and they're really popular. Then also, in the way of timers, we have the time timer, I believe.
Sorry.
There we go. Time timer. So what this is they have lots of different sizes, but it's just a quick timer that counts down, a visual timer. You set it up, and then you can see this visual, very easy to see section or segment that just shrinks down as the time goes by, and then it buzzes. It's a great way to really quickly see how much time you have left. And I like this one. It's small. It's kind of like an egg timer size, but they have them very big. This one here has a handle on it, but only has 20 minutes. So if you don't need the full hour, you're just doing something short, you have that. And then I also I like showing this version, which is the same size, but it comes with a whiteboard. So along there, you can make notes. You can do a checklist of different things based on different times. So whatever you want to use this whiteboard for, and I swear that word says things. And this is supposed to be a checklist. I'm looking at the screen while I'm also doing. Anyways, so this is kind of nice. It's the same kind of setup, a small thing, but you have this dry erase board that goes with it, which is pretty slick. So that is the time timer. And is there a question, I think?
Yes, are there any options for timers that are geared for people with vision loss?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the time timer specifically has low vision. They have a couple low vision options. And then we have, I can't remember the name of the one that we have in our library that is a low vision timer.
Oh,
But I know we have one that's similar. Yes, so there are options for low vision
And
timers.
And if nothing else, if you know how, like, so say you know you wanted it exactly, the hard part about this is you can't feel exactly where you are, but there is a knob, so you can kind of tell when you're at 30 minutes. You can feel when you're all the way at 60 minutes. So you do have some control over just feeling where it is, and then it buzzes when it gets to the end. This one has really high contrast, but the buzzer at the end is going to help you out, and you can kind of feel where you're pointing it, as long as you know what the full 360 rotation is.
Mhm. Yeah, so two questions. For the visual timers, I don't think that the time timer themselves are waterproof. I would definitely need to do a little bit more research and see if they have a waterproof option. They have so many options on their website. I'm sure that there's something out there that's waterproof,
Yeah,
but
for sure. This has a little silicone cover over it that helps protect it a little bit from drops and
yes, but
splashes and
not.
things, but you're not going to submerge it in water and expect it to work.
Yeah. And then the app, so they do have an app that's linked when you purchase a time timer. They have like a time timer app specifically. Now I have not done a ton of looking into the app to see how it works. But it is similar where you would be able to, I know that they have a watch, like a app for your watch and your phone. So I'm sure that it works a little bit in similar ways. But I can't speak to how amazing it would work. If that makes sense. Yeah, so they do have, yeah, and then Elizabeth just mentioned or just put in those low vision ones. Okay, so and that's the time timer. Let's look at some, oh, sorry. We're gonna be swapping lots.
We got the motions down.
Yes. Okay. So now let's look at some built-in settings that exist both on your iPhone and your Android. I'm going to show it on an iPad because it's a little bit bigger, but they exist on both. So I'm going to show it on both. Yes. Okay. There we go. So, pardon my dirty screen. You see all my fingerprints. So now, when I go into my iPhone or my iPad, I can go to, so I'm going to go to here's my general settings, right? If I go down to focus, I can add a focus setting. So there's a couple different ones that they give to you already, and I set up this studying one a few days ago. But with when I'm setting up a new one, and they have a lot of different options, okay? So if I press this, if I want to make a focus and say I want to make it to be custom, and for school, I want it to be a school-focused one. So I can go in, I can type, you can name it whatever you want, and you can change the colors, things like that. Now it's going to give me the options to turn on a custom homepage, share with friends that I have notifications silenced, silence notifications, and then I can turn it off from the control center. So here's what it looks like when I first set up. This is not set up totally, right? I can choose people that I allow notifications from. So if I want to, for school, say I'm setting this up for my kiddo, I can add to it so that I can set up, I only wanted to allow notifications from mom. Can do that. Now I can choose if I want to allow calls, if I want to add no calls, favorites. Now I don't have any favorites, but I can do allowed people only, which is those people that I just added. Next, things like that. I can choose specific apps that I want to allow from. So if I want to add, it gives you some suggestions and you do have to uncheck them. So it's going to give you some suggestions based on your school focus. So sometimes it can be helpful, sometimes it can be annoying. I can add an app, right? Like if I want to only have Canva allow me to give notifications. There we go. So I have that. It also gives you more customization. There's a ton of customization within there. The one thing that I do like about it is that you can choose a home screen to add. So if I want to do this, I have this one's already linked to a different one. So let me show you what that looks like. So if I go back and I want to go to studying, right? I have linked this already. So then it's stay focused and then it only has my lock screen, right? Now, I can set this on a schedule to turn on at a specific time, a location, or while using a specific app or have a filter. There's a lot of customization that goes into it. But what I like about it is that, so if I go just home, right, and this is just my regular home screen, lots of different apps, I can change it straight from here. So I'm going to add studying. Now it's changed my home screen, and now I can't look at anything else. So this is the screen that I've allowed on here. So if you saw before, if I go back to my other one, if I just unclick it, you can see I have multiple different pages that I can scroll through, but with my studying, I only have this one. So this is where you could add only your apps that you are using during that time during studying. Maybe you have a studying app that you're using, and you can still access your other apps. It's not like you can't access them, but it does kind of limit your visual piece there. And again, there's lots of customization. You could kind of need to play with it to find what you like. You can add a schedule, focus filters, you can delete them, things like that. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like on the iPad or the iPhone. Okay, so I also have what it looks like on Android really quick, if that works. Sorry, I always forget where to turn this one on. So
This is the Google Pixel.
yes, the Google Pixel. So this
Pixel
is
tablet,
the
yeah.
Pixel tablet. So it might look a little different on your Android, depending on what Android you have. That is a downside there. It looks a little bit different. But theirs is digital well-being, and then there's also modes. So it's in two different spots, whereas on the iPhone, it's in one spot. With modes, they have different, so you can create your own mode the same way that you did on the iPhone. So I can create a custom mode. So I made work mode. Now you can do the same thing where you set a schedule. You can just set specific apps, alarms, display. You can't do the thing on the iPhone or on the iPad where I changed the lock screen. There might be a way on some different Android systems, but I could not find a way to do it when I just did some simple exploration. But you can do where you like change the screen, so you can enable it so it dims the wallpaper or keeps the screen dark, so preventing you from kind of looking at it, or grayscale, changing the screen to black and white. So it can kind of change. You do have some customization in the display, but not as much with like changing the home screen, if that makes sense. Now with the app timers and things like that, where it's kind of built into the focus mode, you kind of have another spot to put that on. So like the digital well-being, like changing how much time you have on each app. So if I really am distracted by YouTube, I can change how much time.
Oh, that's my time tracker, guys.
Yes, it is telling us that it's time to move on. Yeah, so you can set an app timer. I only get 30 minutes. Really popular with like if you have kiddos, but it's also really helpful if you just need a little bit of extra help with being distracted. So you can change that with any app that you want. You can set screen time reminders, things like that. And there's a lot of customization that goes into the digital well-being and the modes on both the iPhone and the Android. So yeah.
And can you go back out and show how you got into that part of the settings?
Oh yeah, for the Android.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, if I went to settings, now it opened in modes, but maybe it would open here, right? This is just general. I'm just going to scroll down to mode. And that's where I found that the work mode where I can change the like the schedule and allowing specific, people. I can add calls, contacts, and things like that. Now, I do believe you're able to turn that off from here as well. So it pops up when it's on. So I have it as a schedule that it turned on today at 1 and will stay on until 4. But you're able to change that from here. And I believe that you would be able to, yes, so it pops up the same way in the control center where I can change and I can turn it off just like that. But it also, when it's on, it pops up in my notifications and I can take a break from it. And I want to take a break for 5 minutes. So now I don't have any of my settings on or the focus on, but then it'll go back on automatically in 5 minutes. That is not a feature that the Apple has. That is a feature that Android has. But yeah, I just found it in modes. And then I also found the digital well-being, which is where I add added the timers and the focus and things like that, screen time reminders. So that's kind of where it is. All right, that's built-in settings. So these are all free that that are just built into your native iOS settings. All right. Okay. All right. Now let me show, I'm also going to show Forest, which is a popular app, or it's a Chrome extension. So this is just a Google Doc I have open. You can use Forest in a variety of different ways. So it is a Chrome extension. They also have an app. Their app is paid, but their Chrome extension is free. So we have a variety of different Chrome extensions, which is why you see them up here. But when you download a Chrome extension, you can download them through this little the Chrome Web Store, and then once they pop up, they'll pop up in this little puzzle piece. So once I want to say I want to start Forest. Now Forest is something where it'll give me a timer, and during the timer, it's going to plant a tree. So if I have a 10-minute timer on here, it's going to block and you can create block lists. Sorry. So basically it will give you that time to focus. So you can create different spots that you block certain websites. So if I only want to focus on that Google Doc, I can block other things. Like I can't visit maybe Google, or I can't visit YouTube and things like that. And so then when I turn that Forest on, then that's gonna block those different websites. Now I also can allow things. So if I want to be able to if I'm doing a project on NASA, I can make sure that the NASA website is allowed. And basically what it does is the longer that I stay on that timer, the longer it plants the tree. So I can change the timer to be less. So if I want it to be, I think 10 minutes. So 10 minutes is the start, and you can change it up to, I think, 2 hours. But if I click it, it's going to start growing. So I am only in the list mode, which I don't have anything allowed or blocked. So it's just going to stay like this in the timer. But if I had allowed the Google Docs, I would be able to type on the Google Doc. But basically it gives you the timer that pops up there. And then if you back out of the timer when the timer's happening, then you don't grow your plant. So if I give up and I'm gonna kill my tree, I give up, and now it's dead. But it actually does plant. Their company plants actual trees out in the world for every tree that you plant by focusing. So yeah, and then you can go and see, like, I can go and see how many trees I planted. I can also see the times that I didn't plant a tree. So today I planted one tree, and then I didn't plant another tree. And you can see your other times. So you can it's kind of gimmicky. There's a lot that exists out there, like Forest. So there's things like there's apps like Donut Dog, and there's so many that are out there that can block certain websites and give you incentives for not accessing those blocked websites. But it's kind of up to personal preference. So this is just one that we have. Yeah, so that's Forest.
All right.
All right.
All right, let's do one more in the attention and focus area. And we're going to look at an app called Routine Flow. Now, there actually is another app by the exact same name, but it's 2 words instead of 1. So watch out for that if you're looking into it. But this one looks like, I don't know if you can see it here, but it's got a little white box with a check mark on a blue square. But I'm going to open this up. And it is designed, I think, more for the iPhone. As you can see, when it starts, it's so small like that, and you kind of have to expand it, but it still works on iPad as well. This one has Android version as well,
Yes.
right? Okay. So how this works, right now what we're looking at is we're looking at like scheduled routines. So it's an app to help you stay focused and stay essentially on task. And so I have an evening routine coming up here. I've already completed my morning routine and my study routine. And how this works is if I hit the plus, I can create a routine, and it has a bunch in here with essentially templates. So like if we look at this ready for work example, if I click that, it has a couple of ideas in here. Make some coffee, answer emails, do breathing exercises. And what you can do if you're using this template is you go through and you can pick which ones in order that you want to do them. And you don't have to pick any of these, but I'm just going to pick a couple of them here and then continue. And then you can give it a name. I'm just going to call it ready for work. You can say how often, how many days a week this routine will run, or you can make it completely flexible, which means you can choose when to run it. You can also come down, and if these steps weren't enough, or you can create your own custom steps, where they have a whole bunch of more lists that you can choose from with templates, or just right here, create your own custom step. So I'm just going to say do this thing, and you can decide how long it's going to take. Let's say it takes 11 minutes. And then you can even in the pro version, not in the free version, you can have if you actually describe something, this will break it down into further steps for you in this AI support. I'm not going to bother with that right now, but
We have a quick question
Oh, yeah,
about the paid version. So on the handout, it says that we have a paid, it's $5 to $9 a month. But we found in our experience, like I was using the free version, but
Yep,
Paul
you
couldn't
can-
find the
you
so
can use it.
there is a free version, if that makes sense.
Yeah, when you get this app, it's going to try to get you to pay for it, which it tried to do me and do which it did to me, and then it gave a little tiny
Like
up in the
clear.
corner X to close that out and skip the paid version. I'm using the free trial of the pro version right now, but if you just X out that ask for money, you can use the free version. So my bad there. But anyways, I'm going to save this step. So now it has these timers in here. I'm going to go ahead and create this routine. And you can set the time for when it's supposed to start. And basically what that does is it tells you, it sets a reminder and tells you, okay, time to begin this thing. I'm going to go ahead and set that for 1 minute from now. And so now I have these in place. And if my phone is off, when it hits 2:33, that message is going to come up, and then I can go into it and I can start this activity. And it's giving me a timer, and it says it's 8 minutes scheduled. I can start doing my activity, and that's it. You just do your activity. You can reschedule it, add more time, do it later, skip it, but I'm going to say I completed that. Now it gives a nice little chime, and then it moves on to the next thing. Prepare this. I'm going to do that one, and then do that one, and then I finish it all. I do all these things so fast. But anyway, so you're going through each of those. It's now done, and it's cleared from my list. I can look and see what's been done, but that's cleared, and I can go then to my insights, and I can see all the different tasks that I've completed. So it does give you a nice way to review kind of all the different things that you've done, and it's kind of nice. But you can also start something early, which is kind of nice. So this evening routine, if I click on that, one thing I kind of liked about it is that if you start now, it's going to tell you based on your timings of all of these things, it's going to tell you when you're going to complete it. I think that's a pretty nice feature that's in there. And then you can hit start timer mode and it dives right into that. But I'm going to get out of there and skip all these. And there we go. So that is, there's a couple other just random settings that you can do here, but that is the main features behind routine flow. I kind of like it. Kind of simple, but it does give you some minimum amount of advanced controls, which is kind of nice. All right.
Okay.
So moving on to time management tools,
Let's do sorry.
which is me.
Yes. Well,
Yeah, I could. So the next thing I wanted to look at is it's essentially a checklist app. It's called Todoist. It's a popular one. I'm sure many of you have heard of it, but I just wanted to show the web version of it first. You can get it as an app as well on Android or
Apple.
Apple, thank you. iOS, there it was. One thing I like about this checklist is it can start super simple with without much getting into it. So the thing about checklists is they're only helpful if you actually use them. And so in this case, because it can be super simple, it's easy to dive in and just get started. So here it shows me my day. I can add a quick task, complete this workshop, and then just enter, and it's right in there nice and quick. But I can also sort of grow with this. If you're someone who is not used to using checklists, you might want to keep it simple to begin with, but it does give you some really quick controls to add a little bit more depth and feature to this. So now I'm going to say, let's say respond to emails. What I can do real quick, it has these really quick shortcuts. I can really quickly schedule it for a specific day or some of the recommended days. I can set a reminder. I can even change like what project it's a part of. By default, it's just in your inbox, but I can see here we have like school, tasks, personal, things like that. You can throw it right in there really quickly. But what I really like about any good checklist system is the ability to prioritize things. So as soon as I create this, I can leave it as just the default blank priority. But if I click this, I can give it a priority 1, 2, 3, or leave it on 4. And what's nice about that, once I've added the task, if you put it as a top priority, it automatically stays right at the top. And that can be really helpful for someone who's maybe new to checklists and the idea of prioritizing your tasks. So if I do copy documents, it's an important part of the job. I'm going to set this to priority level 2. And as soon as I add it, it stays below that. And what's nice about this is for someone who's just trying to do kind of like what I call a brain dump of trying to get all the ideas down of the things that you have to do. If you use this priority tool, it allows you to start practicing that skill of identifying how important tasks are. And then when it's time to do those tasks, you don't have to think about which one to start with because it's just going to tell you based on those priorities that you set. And so I really like that. Anytime I look for a good checklist tool, I always look for priority options in there.
We go back to routine flow for a second.
Routine flow. I think I'm at the end of this.
Sorry.
I wanted to see if there's anything else I wanted to look at. I mean, there's other features, but I just wanted to get to those. There's actually a ton of features. Like you can connect it directly to your calendar. I think Google Calendars and Outlooks are supported. I don't think iCal is supported, but Google and Outlook is.
There's a way you can get it to send you emails for like certain tasks.
Yeah,
and there's so many features.
There are integrations that you can do. And so there's lots of different features. So it's great because you don't have to use all those features just to get into using it and get used to it being a routine. Because really for a checklist, it needs to be a routine, which leads me right into going back to routine flow. Okay.
So can you clarify that for routine flow, can you use it for free or
you can use it for free?
Yes.
You can use it for free, yes.
So when I was testing out the routine flow, I was using it for free. And I wasn't paying for it. I know that there's limitations on how many routines you can create. And I'd have to, so like, for example, let me show you. That's our next thing. So like here, it kind of gives me like, oh, unlock everything, but I can also just exit. And then like I have the same space that Paul had. It just gives you the option, like you can't, there's like certain things that you can't use. Like I have one routine that I can make. I don't know if I would have to look and see how many routines you can
plus,
make.
see.
Because so I wonder if it's just one, or maybe I'm wrong in
that might be
we
the
could,
difference.
yeah, maybe it's just one that I can make. Definitely one of those that you can't. Yeah, it's kind of funky. I know that I used it I just showed it this week to someone. Yeah, it might just be that you're able to make that one, which is funky. I would have to look more into that, but I know that you can use it limitedly with there.
And do you have any suggested calendar apps that are easy to use and have photos or if they're limited or lower reading list?
That's a good question. Calendar.
Maybe not off the top of my head. Anything come to mind for you,
I'm trying
Elizabeth?
to think.
Visual schedule?
Visual schedule planner, yeah.
Visual schedule. I'm thinking maybe CanPlan.
Oh,
Oh, can plans again.
CanPlan, I have, here, I've got it up on my iPad actually. We've got CanPlan. CanPlan's an app. I can't remember if it's free or not. I'd have to go and look. But they do have a calendar where you can add different tasks. So these are just some ones that we have.
It is free, but it's only on iOS.
Yeah, only on iOS. So then, yes, I can add a task. I can add a photo here. I can add like a task name. I can add steps. So I can record an audio, take a photo, add a description, and go from there. So there's definitely, let me see if I have one that I've already made. Here we go, dinner time. So then I took a picture of my screen, clearly not amazing. But I can start. And then I've kind of added like when the timer turns yellow, and it also has the option to like read it to you, and you can listen to it, and then you can go through the different tasks, and then press done, and then I'm done with the task. That makes sense. Obviously, I could probably go into a little bit more of detail, but that is off the top of my head what I could think of.
I do want to address Gina's question, and it also ties into Erica's a little bit. What if you have too many of these apps? And that's a really good question. We're showing a lot of things here, and really, it's probably best to start with one tool at a time, maybe two, and get a feel for how it's going to work for you. Everything has a certain level of learning curve, and you do have to give it a try. Erica is asking, how long do you suggest to stick with it? Totally depends on the person, totally depends on the tool. So I don't know. But you do have to give it a little bit longer usually than you think, because things tend to get difficult and then you think, this isn't working for me. But if you give it a little bit longer past that first stage of frustration, sometimes it can be beneficial. But you don't want to do it too long. You don't want to have frustration that's just building and building. So that's kind of a vague answer, but that's the best I can do there. Okay, well let's move on because we got a lot still to cover
Yes,
and
lot
we're
more to
running
cover.
low on time.
Okay, so let's look at all right, we're gonna look at the Meta glasses. So these are really popular right now. I'll go pretty quick. So the Meta glasses come in this fun little case, and we have them in the library. We're getting them soon. These are our demo pair, but you'll be able to check them out soon. And so the case actually is the charger. So that is a fun piece about the Meta glasses, is that so when I take them out, now they've got this little charging piece here. And then you charge the case using a USB-C. So they have about a 4-hour battery life when you're using them like fully using them for lots of different prompts. And so then if I'm using them out, I can just pop them back in and then they can charge. So you can pair them to your phone pretty easily. And then their app is this Meta AI. And this is kind of what the app looks like once you've paired. But the glasses themselves look like this. They've got 2 cameras here, and they've got 2 speakers here on the back of the pair, and then they have a on-off button here. So if I turn it off, it turns red. I'm not going to turn it off because sometimes that can cause a problem when I'm trying to show stuff to people. But this is what they look like on. So there's different styles. This is their Wayfarer, which is their $2.99, their cheapest version. And they just have clear lenses. Now, if I want to control the glasses,
Should I switch microphones here so they can hear?
Sure, yes. So when I want to control the glasses, still be able to hear me talking. So I'm using this so you can still hear them. So when I want to control the glasses, it's this way, sorry. I'm like turned around because I'm looking at myself. I can turn up the volume. I don't know if you can really hear it. But I can turn it up by swiping and then turn it down by swiping. But when I want to prompt the glasses, I'm going to say, "Hey Meta," and it makes a little sound. "What's the weather today?"
In Minneapolis, Minnesota, it's currently mostly sunny and 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Today will be sunny with a high of 71 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 54 degrees Fahrenheit.
Thanks.
Can everybody hear that? We tested it and it seemed to work before, but I want to make sure everyone can hear that.
Awesome.
All right, cool.
Yes, perfect. It's always a game. But so basically the meta classes can be used for a lot of different things. And we'll have more workshops on that later this year. But when it comes to executive function, they can be used kind of like an Alexa for your face. So I can ask Meta to do certain things like, hey Meta, set a reminder for tomorrow to go to the grocery store.
Sure. I'll remind you to go to the grocery store tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Thanks. And then it pops up and it gives me a little reminder here on my computer or on my iPad or whatever device you're connected it to. Now, if I am wearing the glasses on at tomorrow at 9 a.m., it's going to give me a little timer button it's going to give me a little sound. And it'll tell me, hey, you need to oh,
Connected devices.
it's talking. Sorry. So I was talking and not on the glasses, it says. Okay.
Yes, they can have prescription lenses.
Yes, they can. They almost need their own workshop to be able to talk about all of the different features. But so when I have that reminder pop up for me, it'll pop up in the app or like just generally like on the iPad like this. So this one was walked the dog today at 10 p.m. Or at 1 p.m. Sorry. And so it can be used for a lot of different things. I can also say like, hey, I need to remember to bring my bag to soccer tomorrow. And then you can ask it tomorrow, okay, hey, what did I need to remember to bring to school tomorrow? Or when it's tomorrow, you can ask it that. And then it would be able to tell you, oh, you needed to bring your soccer bag. Now, obviously, it's a little bit like trial and error, trying to see we haven't fully tested the extents on what it can be used for, but for the most part, it's able to answer your questions. It's able to set reminders, set timers. So I can set a timer, like, hey, Meta, set a timer for 2 minutes. And then it's going to set a timer.
Minutes started.
So then it's going to set a timer. And hopefully, I probably should have set a 1 minute timer. Maybe I'll still be talking. But basically, you don't need to hold the device near your mouth.
Yeah, we're just doing.
I'm just using this so you can hear it. So I can just, I'm able to just control the glasses and wear them as normal glasses. So I'm able to hear them using the speakers that they have, and they can't really be heard from other people that are around you if they're like lower, if they're like a normal headphone level. Obviously, if I turn them up super loud, you can kind of hear them. But yes, so they do a lot. You can listen to music, you can ask it questions about different things, you can have it read things to you if I put something in front of me. But yes, for the executive function piece, it can be helpful for just setting those reminders and setting those schedules, or like say, I can add things to my calendar, like, hey, Meta, add going to the grocery store to my calendar tomorrow at 1 p.m. And it can do things like that. It sometimes is a little finicky when it's like listening and when it's not. But yeah, so those are the meta glasses. We can kind of get into there's lots that goes along with it. Do we want to switch the microphone?
Yes, we want to switch the mic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, otherwise you'll have me just talking.
All right.
All right.
So in the interest of time management, I'm going to go through this next one pretty quick. It is kind of a new tool to me anyway, so I don't know a lot of the details, but I just want to show you kind of a new way of looking at sort of time, I guess is one way to put it. This is called sectograph. I'm going to swap around here.
No worries. Yeah, we're
Who's beeping? Oh, it's the Meta AI 2-minute timer is
tell
done.
me yes that the timer is done.
They can't hear you now.
All right. Lost the sound. Okay, give me a
Alright.
second to get that situated.
All
Hold
right,
on. Are you able to hear us now?
should be good, right? I'm not getting much. There we
Oh,
go.
volume is low. Funky.
Oh, that
Okay.
happened last time.
Just
All right.
low. Okay.
All right, not
Should I-
as well as before. Oh, here, I got it. How's this one? Is this one a little bit better, or is that also low? All right.
With the glasses. Funky. Should I
Well,
just turn that back on?
well,
And
it's
is that
Oh,
close
it is?
better?
It
Okay.
is? Okay.
Perfect.
It's better.
Sorry, it took us a minute. Thank you for being patient.
Oh, it was loud with the glasses. Okay, well, I'll speak up.
Different mic.
All right. All right. That was the first time we've used that microphone in a webinar, so we weren't sure how it was going to go. All right. So real quick, sectograph, and I'm gonna actually move this up a little bit. So basically what this is it takes your day and it's connected to a calendar. Right now I have it connected to a Google Calendar. And it looks at your day like a face of a clock. And as you scroll through the time, oh, sorry about the focus here. Um, you can it breaks into different visual segments, which is really nice. And as you go closer, things disappear as you go throughout your day. So it's just a new way of looking at things. You can see here, really quick glance, what time these start. You can see right here, it says it's 2 hours and 40 minutes away from a 60-minute break, 4 hours away from a 30-minute break, stuff like that. So you have pretty basic setup. I don't want to get too much into the details. You can add your own custom items. Otherwise, everything that you have on your calendar that's connected to this is just going to pop up in this view based on your day. So I think it's a cool way to look at your day rather than their standard linear view. It has this rotational, this radial view, if you will. So that's sectograph. And now let's go ahead and move on to stay on time because we are running low.
All right, next thing we go. Okay, let's look at goblin tools here. We want to. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I suppose we didn't have to.
There you go. Okay. Let's do.
So, Goblin Tools, bring this up here. Goblin Tools is a pretty interesting setup. It has an app. I'm using the web browser version, but it has these different things in here. I'm not going to look at all of them. It has the magic to do, an estimator and a compiler. These are kind of the ones I wanted to look at, but the magic to do is interesting. And so you bring it up and it's just, I'm going to go ahead and delete all these really quick.
Yes, there you go.
So you have just a quick checklist system. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's see, I'm going to go to grocery store. I'm going to cook dinner, clean kitchen, whatever it is. So you can really quickly add things, but where the power comes in is this little breakdown tool. If you hit this, AI will look at this task and it will come up with a list of smaller subtasks for that. And you can also go in here and hit an estimate, and it will come up with an estimate for each of these things. Now, the estimates aren't always perfect. It's AI doing its best. I remember one time it said I could, go to the grocery store and pick out all the things in 2 minutes, and that's never happened in my life. But still, you can really quickly adjust the time in here, and it's really helpful for one, breaking down tasks, and then two, also identifying or helping you figure out the time. The other tools in here really quickly are the estimator, which you can just enter any activity in here and it will estimate it for you. So it's kind of sort of a dedicated version of what we just saw. And then lastly is the compiler, which I really like. You can just turn on the microphone and just start talking and it will create tasks that way. So here I have to complete this webinar in just a few short minutes. Then I need to load the YouTube video and then I need to send it out to everybody and that should be it. Then I hit turn it into tasks and then I can go to my magic to do and they're in there. Complete the webinar, load YouTube, send video out to everybody. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And you can change how much it breaks down, and there's so much that goes into it. So let's look at some other things too, since we're running low on time. We are gonna look at the smart home tools. So I've got some different things. We've got I've got an Alexa. So this is pretty popular. People know about Alexa, but there's a lot that can be done with that, with routines and sticky notes. And it's basically like a voice personal assistant. So I can ask it to do a lot of different things. So I had already put on here my sticky note. So I have these to walk the dog at 2 p.m. and to walk the dog at 5 p.m. So I just verbally said that. You can add a sticky note. Another thing that it's really great for is smart home. So when I change when I have smart home devices, whether it's a smart bulb or a smart plug, there's lots of different things out there. I can tell it to do certain things based on just a voice command. So I put in here, Alexa, too bright. Now it's going to change my light. Now it changed my lights to be green and 15%. So before it was the full bright white light. So if I was, just overwhelmed, you can set the different voice commands to be whatever you want by typing in on the app. There's ways you can change. There's so many routines. It's very customizable, especially when you have smart plugs, turning things on, turning things off, and just having it remind you, timers, asking it questions. Very similar to the Meta glasses in that way. And yeah, there's lots of customization that goes on with it. Sorry. Next thing I'll show you is I'm going to show you item finders. So an item finder, something like an air tag or a tile. I have them here. I have a tile and I have an air tag. They're pretty popular, but I love them. I think that they're super helpful. Now, when I go in, I can, with the AirTags, with the Apple, I can add it to my Find My, and then I can find that wherever I want. So if I or wherever it is. So if I have my keys, which I lose a lot, which is why I'm showing them, I can play a sound, I can find them. It can give me directions that I can move to find. I can play a sound, which is kind of annoying. Super annoying. I can also change the name of it, give me notifications where I've left behind. So if you leave your house and you don't have your keys, it would give you a little notification that says keys left behind and things like that. Now the tile does the same thing. It's just a different app. It doesn't integrate well with the iPhone. It does integrate with Find My with the Android version of that. But it does the same thing where I can find the keys, I can look where it is, I can set it to Siri, I can ask it to do things, I can find my phone. So for both of these, you can click them and it can ring your phone. And so I recommend using them. You can put them on really anything. There's so many different holders for them. This one's just a key ring, but they make stickers and and Tile makes a lot of different versions, like things for your wallet, lots of different options. So those are item finders. Maybe we skip reminders or
Yeah, I was gonna skip over reminders.
in the
So
interest of time.
we're basically at the end.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep going and show these last three things, which are Otter AI, Good Notes, and X Tiles. We'll show them really briefly, but Elizabeth, you can go ahead and put the evaluation for those of you who have to leave. We'll put the evaluation link in there so you can at least get the certificate of attendance at the end. But let's go ahead and finish off these last three items.
Yeah.
Otter AI is a fun tool. There's kind of a lot that we could look at, but I'll keep it simple. So I'll just look at it, the main feature, which is this sort of record feature. So you can use it to record a conversation, record a meeting. I often see these show up in Zoom meetings and Teams meetings, and where it will take everything that's been recorded and it will create an overview here. So if I just hit record, I'm going to do new recording. So now as I talk about this item, it's not only going to create a transcription, but when I'm done, the AI is going to go through and give me not only that, but a summary and an outline. It can even give you a task list if it identifies that tasks were created in here. So it's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it there.
Yeah, it does really well with speakers too. You can do multiple speakers and it'll go through the different ones.
Yeah, it can identify pretty well if there's different speakers, and it will show speaker one or speaker two. So it takes a minute for the AI to process, but you can see these other ones. There's giving brief overviews of those conversations that were happening, which is pretty cool.
And lots of different things.
So there's a lot of different tools, but that's the main idea behind it, and it's pretty cool.
Yes, Otter is free. You've got 3. I think you can have up to 300 minutes per month with the free version, and that's a lot of minutes, but you have 30 minutes per recording. So you can't record a whole 2-hour meeting, but you can record 30 minutes of a meeting. So let's look at Good Notes really quick. Now Good Notes is also very a very robust tool, lots of different tools, but it's really good for note taking both in school and at work. The things that I like about it is that it has the ability to record, so I can record things, and then when I write, say if I write like hello, I can go back and I can click the different spots in my writing and I can hear what was recorded during that time. I have a 20-minute recording limit because I have the free version, but you can do that. It has timers built in, so I can add a timer, I can start a timer, and it's gonna pop up in this little corner here. Sorry, it's probably confusing that I'm like sideways, but it's got that visual piece where it counts down. I can also move it so that I can hide it so then it's not there, but then I can also keep it there. The thing that I really like about it that's unique is that it does spell correction on your handwriting. So obviously the more that you use it, the better it starts to learn. So I spelled birthday wrong. And so I can go in and I can, obviously it struggles sometimes, but you can also, like if you see, yes, this is correct, I can click it and then it'll automatically correct based on your handwriting. So the more that you write in it, the better it corrects your handwriting. It's got lots of things. You can convert handwriting to text, which can be helpful for searching things. I can convert it to text. I can convert it to math, things like that. I can add a sticky note. So where I show that is if I want to add a little sticker of my name, so then I don't have to write my name every time. I can put that on there, and then I don't have to write my name every time, things like that. So it's a very robust tool. With the free version, you get up to 3 notebooks, but you're able to use all of their features within those 3 notebooks. For what I've seen, you don't really have like a limited number of pages within the notebooks. And you can export the notebooks, do the same things. You just have that recording limit that's there, and then the ability to have 3. So there's that. And this one's Good Notes 6. And so this is a free. And they also, if you want to buy their like app, it's a one-time purchase. So you can purchase, I think it's like $20 once, or there's a price for one of them, and then yeah, you can do the yes, but you can also use it for free. I've been using the free version for months and I haven't needed to buy the paid version.
Can you do math on it?
Yeah, you can do math on it. There's different, it doesn't do math for you, like it doesn't solve math, and I haven't really done a lot with the math, but if I do like 2 + 2 = 4, and I want to convert it, I can click that, oops, sorry, I use that lasso tool to convert to math, and now it's going to, sometimes it takes a minute. Oh, I might not have clicked it. Convert math, okay. Sometimes it's funky. So sometimes it should work. Okay. There we go. Okay. Took a minute for it to work. But because I did too. So yeah, so it does do math. It doesn't do the math for you, but you can convert to math on there. And you can upload like any like worksheet. So this is just a worksheet I uploaded into it. So you could put a math worksheet in there if you wanted to. But yeah, you can kind of use it for a variety of different things. Yeah. Then the last thing we're going to show today is Xtiles. I'm just going to run through that pretty quick. Xtiles is a digital whiteboard with a lot of different, it's very versatile. You can have a lot of different tools within it. When you open it up, it gives you this option. Here, let me delete this. But basically you can add different spots. You can create notes, images, tasks, tables. You can create certain things. Like I said, I want to create a to-do list for cleaning my room. I can add that. This is all free. Obviously there's some limitations to their free, like how much you can do, but normally it will give you like a little to-do list. You can add with their templates. I like their templates. This is their 1-3-5 template. Small tasks. When I put in a task in there, like walk the dog, I can add that. I can add a time to that task. Add it, I want it to be today, add a reminder, repeating, things like that. Then it'll pop up in my task list here. and it'll pop up in your planner. So it gives you like a little planner. It's very versatile. There's lots of different ways that you can use it. You can use it as a spot to do notes, calendars, timelines. It's basically an online whiteboard or a notebook. And a planner, and kind of combines a lot of different tools in one. I've been using it for a while, and I like it, but it's all up to personal preference. There's lots to do with it. Yes, so sorry.
All
We
right,
kinda
so that we
ran over, but
rush the last things. Thanks everyone for staying with us. Last
Yeah.
couple things here. Thank you all for joining us. You can always email us stc@pacer.org. This recording is going to go on YouTube here this afternoon. Simon Technology Center. Couple of workshops are coming up. Go ahead and check out pacer.org/workshops. In fact, there's another one coming up this week in a couple of days that I'll be doing on low vision tools. And then little advertisement. If you're interested, on Thursday, September 18th, come out to Wooden Hill Brewing Company, and there are tickets available at that QR code. It's a fundraiser. You can come join and learn about Pacer and hang out. All right.
yeah, make sure you complete that workshop evaluation to get the survey, or to get the little thing at the end, the certificate of attendance.
Yep. And do watch out the certificate of attendance. In order to get it, don't click this done. Please click here first before hitting it done. Otherwise you won't get it. And if for any reason you can't get that certificate of attendance, just email us at stc@pacer.org. All right, thanks guys, especially for those of you that stayed the extra 6 minutes. Really appreciate it. Sorry for the rush at the end, but hopefully you found something useful, and we hope to see you again at the next one. So take care. 2